Well, Billy, Frank, Dusty, welcome back to Countdown again. This time with the good news that, in fact, the tour is only a couple of weeks away. Looking forward to it?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
I've heard you just on different interviews, and I heard you one before, sort of saying that perhaps the nearest thing to Texas is Australia. So you probably feel at home there, I guess.
That's good.
That's what we've heard, since we haven't really been there yet. We've heard from a lot of people, and that's got our curiosity really piqued.
Right.
So we're looking forward to it.
Now, it's been said so many times that there was always the possibility of ZZ Top coming down to Australia and having such a huge following down there. What are your expectations, if any?
Well, I tell you,
I'm sure they'll be met.
whatever they are. We planned to go down there before, and just the idea that we haven't been able to do it yet has built all this up. So our expectations are running at a fever pitch. Yeah.
One of the first Australians we ever had any extended contact with was Angry Anderson and that bunch, and I don't know if that's representative, but we got along fine with him.
Yeah. He's a good guy. The last time I spoke to you was here actually in Houston, shortly after the Eliminator album had been released. I don't think even you could have expected that it was going to be that big, surely.
It's pleasant surprise. We thought it'd do well, but it did a lot better than we expected. Yeah.
Now it broke a lot of new territories. Does that put an extra strain on you? I mean, do you still enjoy touring by sort of breaking through these territories? They're obviously like Australia. They expect to see you, on stage. Does it put an extra burden on you?
In a way. We try to go at every tour about the same as what we're used to. And yet something always manages to make something a little bit different, and it can wind up being as fun, if not more so, than the next tour. That's really what's kind of kept us going, is quest for the unknown.
Well, I mean, being together for so long and coming out with some great albums, and I get the feeling just watching you work today, I mean, you have an immense sense of humour amongst the three of you. Is that something that's helped to keep you all together? I mean, it looks as if you still really do enjoy each other's company and really do enjoy being part of a group.
Them?
Yes.
Yeah.
We just get booked in the same hotel all the time. We don't have any choice, It's our travel agent.
They keep showing up. Anywhere I go, they keep showing
Yeah,
up.
I go to my show and these guys are there.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure the sense of humor and the enjoyment of playing together it's got to be it.
I mean, when one puts down sort of like they say, okay, there's a new group that is about to take off, and they say, well, there's the formula, and that's what you must do. And a lot of groups find that experience from recording companies. There's always people there to say, well, you shouldn't be doing it this way, you should be doing it that way. And yet, what is the secret of ZZ Top's formula? Because it really...
Never, ever listening to any of that
Yeah.
advice.
Exactly.
We were told in the beginning that we needed to leave Texas and go to LA or go to New York, and we said no. And from that day forward, basically, we've said no to anything that doesn't really fit in with what we wanted to do in the first place, which is, get together on a stage and make some good music.
Right.
The rest of it is something that is not, that's just not what we're about. As long as, if people will just leave us alone and just, maybe help us get to the stage, maybe help us with a hotel or a plane reservation or this or that, but just let us get to the stage, then we're going to have a good time.
All right, like after Eliminator was such a success worldwide, then to have to, when you did go back into the studios to work on the next album, Afterburner, were there any preconceived ideas amongst the three of you how you were going to approach the Afterburner album, or did it just evolve when it came to record it?
There was no doubt that with the success of Eliminator, that when we were writing and preparing Afterburner, we felt self-imposed pressure, I guess you'd say, put the pressure on ourselves, you know, to at least match that, you know, and we were in the same, I think, the same writing vein as we were in Eliminator. That's why it's got some similarities to it. But the pressures and everything, I think, like I said, were self-imposed, which is not a bad thing necessarily. And I think we turned out a real good product that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was fun.
Yeah.
Well, I listened to you before, Billy, when you were explaining to someone else on the phone in an interview about how Eliminator, you brought in quite a few new instruments. That seemed to be extended with Afterburner. So was there a lot of experimentation in the studios with the songs that you were doing?
More so than ever. We kind of were drawn to experimentation by way of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
And even though not knowing the ins and outs of so much of the instruments that we were fooling around with, somehow it worked out as good as maybe you know, when you know the ins and outs of a particular instrument, we were able to coax out the kind of sounds that made sense for us. So we didn't come out sounding like an orchestra, which would be ridiculous anyway, but we were happy with what we got. And it was again, just another extension of what we try and do, and that's have fun anyway.
Right. We were discussing last time in the interview about the importance that video clips had in today's world of rock and roll. Again, you obviously seem to enjoy doing them, and seem to do them with ease, whereas others find it perhaps a pain or hard to do.
Well, I think that started from the first video we did. You know, once again, here was an area that we knew nothing about, but we started having fun with it. You know, I mean, taking it fairly seriously, but having fun with it at the same time. I think that's what came across. And it's probably the only way we could do one. I mean, if we tried to get too serious, I'm not sure we could do it.
Right. I'm not kidding. Okay,
do you agree, Frank?
Oh,
shaking, Billy, would you?
had me riveted with that answer.
He's heard this answer before.
Right. As far as images are concerned, there's been a wonderful image with ZZ Top with the three of you, also with the logos, which is one part of perhaps, you know, that attracts an audience to a group. But one thing I have to admire with ZZ Top is the organisation behind the fan club situation, of where you'll have groups come and go again, and they have their teeny bopper fan clubs, and it seems to sort of disappear into nothing and be swallowed up, and sometimes they seem to be ripped off. Not the case with ZZ Top, and probably the most well-organised fan club in the world for a long, long time. I mean, is it something that I mean, who does handle that now? I mean, it's an enormous thing.
We have a staff of loyal and devoted friends, actually, that decided it was time that somebody answer so much of the mail that was coming in and kind of helping us keep up. And as you say, you know, it's something that not only we enjoy, but that's the whole purpose behind it, is to
Right.
give everybody a kind of a behind-the-scenes look at what's going on.
Right, now with the up-and-coming tour now, obviously American audiences, and in case European audiences, have had the chance to see ZZ Top before. With this tour, though, will we be sort of at least getting some of the old stuff that you would have played on the other tours?
You'll get we try to mix it up pretty good, you know. Some tunes off a lot of the different albums, you know. So,
Right.
so you get a good mixture of everything. It's the same tour we did here.
Yeah.
So you're going to get the same show. It's the only
Right.
show I know. So it's the same show.
Yeah.
And we do try to mix it up. Some of the older tunes and not so old, and the new ones.
Well, that's sort of it.
It's hard remembering all that stuff.
Right.
So,
Don't forget Lagrange, for God's
yeah.
sake.
No, it's hard to forget that when I say.
All right, Wilson, thanks for coming on the show. We really look forward to the tour. The only taste we've had, I guess, of anything near to ZZ Top down in Australia was when Tina burst out with legs as a finale to one of her concerts.
She's
But
got 'em.
She sure has. So we'll look forward to it, and thanks for in fact coming down. I hope you have a great time down there.
Thanks.
Looking forward to it.
What do you say? How do you say goodbye in Australian?
See you later.
See you later.
See you later.
See you later, mate.